Hello everybody. Continuing from the previous class discussion about ideal diode, we were just we had just started the discussion about ideal diode. So let us see for analytical and computation purpose. Let us see what is the idea about ideal diode. So this is the VI characteristics. You have seen in the last class that this is primarily an exponential curve, but when we are considering diode as ideal, that means it should conduct very well in the forward direction like a perfect conductor with zero resistance, and it should conduct very poorly in the reverse direction like a perfect insulator with infinite resistance. So in forward direction, like a perfect conductor with zero resistance, and in the reverse direction it is perfect, it will conduct like a perfect insulator with infinite resistance. That means as we go on increasing the voltage in the forward applied voltage in the forward direction, the current immediately rises from this origin in the positive current direction. So that will indicate it as a closed switch in the forward direction. On the contrary, in the reverse direction, as we go on increasing the reverse voltage in the negative V direction, minus V direction, the current will remain zero ideally. Because it is ideal diode, the current will remain zero because it will work as a perfect insulator of infinite resistance. So perfect conductor means high current and perfect insulator means zero current. So it will graze the current axis in the reverse direction, that is negative V direction. So this is the operation way of working of ideal diode. If we want to draw the equivalent circuit for these two cases of forward conduction and reverse conduction, it should look like this. Is the diode switch, which is, this is the representation of diode as equivalent circuit, which is acting as a switch, and in the forward direction it will look like a closed switch, closed, and in the reverse direction it will act like an open switch, open. So this is the way of working of ideal diode. So this consideration is called ideal diode consideration for computation and analysis of diode related problems. Now let us look at the second approximation on this ideal diode case. What is second approximation? Second approximation means in this equivalence of diode, the concept of barrier potential or the cut-in voltage or the knee voltage is incorporated. That is, the diode for 2D approximation is like this one for reverse bias because it is open, a switch in series with a battery or DC source. The value of this DC source is 0.7 volt for silicon diode. So this is the equivalence of diode in reverse bias, and in forward bias the equivalence will be like this. Similarly, it is also 0.7 volt for silicon, and this is for forward bias. Here it is closed. So these two are nothing but the second approximation incorporated equivalent circuit of diode. The VI characteristics will be like this. in ideal case, this is diode voltage. Suppose this is VD, denoted by VD, and this is diode current ID. Now if this is the 0.7 volt here, plus 0.7 volt, this is the barrier potential or the knee voltage or the cut-in voltage. Ideally what will happen, since the diode is ideal, as well as it is incorporated with second approximation, that is this 0.7 volt voltage inside it. So for forward bias case, the diode is conducting heavily like this one. That means it will graze the current, positive current axis. But in this case, for second approximation, it, unlike for ideal diode which is grazing from the origin, here it will start grazing from the 0.7 volt, considering the 0.7 volt into its action during forward bias. So over and above this value of 0.7 volt, the diode will conduct heavily like a perfect conductor, because it is a closed switch of zero resistance, and the current will rise sharply parallel to the current axis, positive current axis. Similarly, anything below this 0.7 volt and include inside the reverse bias region, that is this area, the negative voltage axis area, the diode will work as a perfect insulator because of infinite R, because of its open switch. Hence ideally the current should be zero. So in spite of this area is having a zero current, within this area, this much area will also be included, because the diode is still not getting the cut-in voltage during reverse bias, and the voltage, applied voltage, is below 0.7 volt. So starting from any voltage below 0.7 volt up to increasing in the negative voltage direction, the current will remain zero, and the current and the axis, the characteristic curve, will graze the voltage axis because of current being zero. So unlike this curve where it is just finishes off at origin, it will still continue to go inside the positive forward region area till the value of 0.7 volt, which is the barrier potential or the cut-in voltage. Because below that voltage, we know that ideal diode will not conduct and the current will remain zero because of its open switch like action, that is action like a perfect insulator. So this is all about the working of ideal diode and incorporation of second approximation into the operation of ideal diode. Now let us see the concept of diode circuits, that is application of diodes, which is actually given in your syllabus. That is the application of diode in construction of rectifiers. So let us look what it is actually, the rectifiers. You know, most electronic devices like TV, stereos and computers need a DC voltage to work properly. Hence, in every TV, stereo, computers, so in their power supply section of these electronic systems, there is a part where the line signal, that is the AC line voltage, is being converted to the useful DC, which is being required for some area of operation in its within its own system and external to it. That means in the power supply section area of these type of electronic systems, we need a converter which converts the AC line voltage into a DC voltage. Now within these power supply circuits, those type of parts which converts the AC line voltage into a DC value or DC voltage. So therefore in this power supply sections of this these electronic systems, which converts the AC line signal into a corresponding DC signal for useful purposes, current will be flowing only in one direction in those type of circuits, and these type of circuits are called rectifiers. So the speciality of these circuits is current flows in one direction, unlike the input where the current flows in alternating nature. So based on this preliminary discussion about what is rectifier, where it is being used and why, we can define that rectification is a process by which an alternating signal is converted, either voltage or current is converted into a direct signal, voltage or current. Any electrical device doing this, that means any electrical device offering a low resistance to the current in one direction and high resistance to the current in opposite direction, is called a rectifier. So the rectifier is doing nothing but to convert an AC signal, voltage or current, into a DC signal, voltage or current, in which the current in alternating nature at the input, or the voltage signal in the alternating nature at the input, will be converted to unidirectional nature at its output. Such type of circuits or devices will be called, or analog circuits will be called, rectifiers. And within these rectifiers, the devices or electronic devices those are being used are called basically diodes, which offer low resistance to the current in one direction and high resistance to the current in opposite direction, and that's why at the output of these rectifiers current flows unidirectionally. Now, since there is another way of explaining this unidirectional nature of movement of current, that is, the forward resistance in one direction is low and the reverse resistance is high. For this particular device is called diode, whose application is nothing but this circuit which is called rectifier. So now let us see what are the different classification of rectifiers, but before going into that, the output of the rectifier will always be an average or DC value of the input signal. And if we consider the input signal as a sinusoid, that means it is symmetrically oscillating around the 0 dB time axis. That means we can say the DC value for an alternating sinusoid is 0, but when it is being converted by diodes or diodes as rectifiers, at its output we should get such type of signal which will be giving us maybe primarily a non-zero DC value or average value of the signal at the output. So let us see how this can be achieved, and for that we need to classify the rectifiers in two types. One is half wave, another is full wave. If we further classify the full wave rectifiers based on the half wave and full wave, this is based on the operation. This classification is based on the operation, and this full wave based on the construction. This full wave rectifiers construction or configuration, we can say, can be classified in two further ways. One is center tapped and another is bridge. So let us start with the half wave rectifier. The half wave rectifier this is suppose a diagram of half wave rectifier. This is the diode, this is the input Vin, and this is a load resistance RL. In this case, the Vin source produces a sinusoidal voltage, and we are considering this diode D as an ideal diode. Now, as because it is ideal and the input is Vin, that is sinusoidal, so let us first draw the sinusoidal voltage. This is the waveform of sinusoidal voltage, like this. So this is Vin, and this maximum value is Vp in, that is the peak voltage. And this is the time axis t. Now, in this case, if we consider the positive half cycle, the circuit in the positive half cycle, that is this side is plus and this side is minus, this is RL, this is plus and minus. So this is during positive half cycle. What is happening? The diode is conducting heavily because it is getting forward biased and it is a closed switch, hence. So during positive half cycle of the input AC source, the diode is forward biased and it is acting as a closed switch, as we have seen a little while earlier. And across this load resistance RL, we will be getting whatever, it will be replicated at the output, whatever is there at the input. That means input, output will follow the input likewise. So if we go on drawing the characteristic curve during the forward bias, that is the positive half cycle, that is this part. So if this is the VO, suppose VO is the output voltage, VO, then VO will be like just same to the input, that is this half wave nature. It will be like this. Now during the negative half cycle, that means this side is minus and this side is plus. During the negative half cycle of input AC signal, RL, VO, this is negative half cycle. In this case, you know, the diode is reverse biased because of minus at this side, and this diode like this is the P side. So P side is connected with the negative of source. That means the diode is acting as a open switch, it is reverse biased. So no current will flow in the RL, that is load resistance, and output voltage will be a 0. That means during this negative half cycle, between this area, the diode current will graze the time axis, or rather voltage. We should say the diode voltage, output voltage will be grazing the time axis. The output voltage is 0 in this case. Once again, at the end of this one cycle, another positive half cycle is the second cycle is generating, and during the second positive half cycle, once again we should be getting the second half wave, and in the second negative half cycle, once again we should get a 0 output. So in this way it will go on, the output. So now the input waveform is having a 0 DC or average value. Why? Because its symmetrical oscillating nature about this time axis, it is equally swinging in the positive direction and in the negative direction. So if we consider the positive peak and negative peak and take an average of those two values, we should get the average value will be lying on this zero axis, that is the time axis. So the input will be giving us a zero value, zero DC or average value. But in the output, since because of this half wave rectification action, this is called half wave rectified signal, this signal. Because of this action, the positive peak at the output is present, but negative peak is clipped off, that is absent based on the negative half cycle of the input signal. This part, the negative part is clipped off in the output. So because of this, this output signal will be called half wave signal, and it will produce a unidirectional load current, because only the load current will flow based on this positive replica of the input signal, and nothing will be flown in the negative part of the input signal. So it will be unidirectional load current will be flown through RL. That means it will flow in only one direction. Now, one more thing, if you have a closed loop on this output signal, it does not look like a normal DC, because a normal DC will be like this. This is time, this is the amplitude of the signal, that is the output VO, and with respect to time, the frequency is constant or zero for a DC, and it will be a curve parallel to this time axis. But these two signals are not matching. So the question arises, how this output can be called a DC signal. Now actually, this output is not a pure DC, it is actually a pulsating DC. It is called a pulsating DC. That means a DC mixed with AC signal components. And in this case, we are seeing that it increases to a maximum at some point during the positive half cycle and decreases to zero during the negative half cycle based comparing with the as compared to the input signal. And so this is not the kind of DC voltage we need to run an electronic equipment. So what we actually need is a constant DC voltage as we find from a battery output. To get that kind of DC voltage, likewise what we find from a battery output, we need a special type of circuit which is called filter, to filter out AC components from this pulsating DC, so that pure DC as much as possible is obtained. So this is nothing but pulsating DC. Pulsating DC means it is DC mixed with AC components. So we need a filter to connect at the output of the rectifier, half wave in this case, so that we can get a pure DC as much as possible. If we use ideal diode to analyze a half wave rectifier, the troubleshooting gets easier. And in this case, for an ideal half wave diode, since we have considered this diode as ideal, the peak voltage at the output Vp out should be peak voltage of the input, that is Vp in. That means no loss from the input AC signal along the path of the signal while reaching at the output across the RL. This is happening because of ideal diode of ideal nature, because of using the diode in ideal condition. Now if we incorporate the second approximation in this case, the second approximation, you mean that you will incorporate the 0.7 volt barrier potential in its operation. So in that case, for including the second approximation, Vp out, we should be writing Vp out is equal to Vp in minus 0.7 volt if we include the second approximation what we have seen a little while earlier. So this will give us a more precise, accurate result for computation and analysis with half wave rectifiers. Now, so one notable property in this half wave rectifier circuit is we need only a single diode to form a half wave rectifier. So half wave rectifier needs a single diode. Now this circuit can be alternately be used, removing this voltage source can be alternately be configured with the help of a transformer. This is a transformer where AC mains is applied at the primary end. You know, this is the primary end of the transformer and this is the secondary end. So the diode is connected like this and a load resistance is connected here, RL. Now if we consider that the AC mains voltage at the primary, E, or rather V, is equal to Vp sine omega t. This is the primary signal. If we consider this, and V equal to Vs sine omega t as the secondary signal, V dash suppose secondary signal, then this can be alternately written as NVP sine omega t. Vs sine omega t equal to NVP sine omega t, where N is the transformer secondary to primary turns ratio, secondary to primary turns ratio, this N of transformer. So if we use a transformer to form this circuit, instead of using a source, a simple source, simple AC source, then this modification in the calculations should be incorporated, and the rest of the things is same, likewise what we have got in these waveforms. So this is all about the half wave rectifier. Our next topic is full wave rectifier. So let us see what is full wave rectifier, and that is to be discussed in the next class. Thank you.